After eliminating the poisoning option, Sharon turned to a more daring idea: a perfect accident. She began to imagine how to create an accident for Phyllis, an elaborate plan that no one could trace back to her. The idea of damaging Phyllis's brakes flashed through Sharon's mind like a flash of light in the dark. Cameron in her mind seemed pleased with the plan. Sharon carefully considered each step to make everything go perfectly, an accident that looked natural, without any suspicious signs. She planned to find the right moment, wait until Phyllis left the house, no witnesses who could cause trouble later. For a brief moment, Sharon even imagined Phyllis's car careening down the hill, the brakes screeching hopelessly. The image gave Sharon a sense of satisfaction, a sense of release. But at the same time, a quiet fear crept in, warning her of the consequences if the plan was discovered. While Sharon was busy planning, Phyllis continued her work, searching for evidence to clear the name of Daniel, her beloved son. Daniel's suffering, the pain of seeing her son wrongly accused, was the driving force that made Phyllis never give up. Step by step, Phyllis followed the clues, collecting pieces of Sharon's life, her every action, to form a complete picture. Phyllis was convinced that Sharon had something to hide, and she fought tirelessly to bring the truth to light. Phyllis was not only a mother, but also a strong woman who never gave up in the face of difficulties. She was determined to prove Daniel's innocence and bring Sharon to justice. To her, Sharon was not only an enemy, but also an evil person who had caused too much harm. Every step Phyllis took became a potential danger to Sharon, making her more and more afraid. After days of preparation, Sharon decided it was time to put her plan into action. She felt a strong desire to see Phyllis disappear forever. However, on the fateful day, something unexpected happened. Sharon discovered that Phyllis had changed her travel plans, causing her plan to fail. Disappointment mixed with fear, Sharon felt like everything was collapsing around her. Unable to continue hiding the truth and with the evidence gradually being exposed, Sharon knew that she did not have much time left. But instead of giving up, Sharon decided to find another method, another plan to achieve her goal. Cameron appeared in her mind again, with a sinister smile, as if urging her to move towards that cruel goal. Sharon realized that she had lost a part of her humanity in this war and had become a completely different person, haunted by fear and unquenchable hatred. When Sharon and Phyllis face each other for the last time, neither of them can back down. Sharon, in an effort to protect herself, faces a strong and determined Phyllis. Phyllis is no longer the weak woman that Sharon could easily fool. Now, she is a true warrior, willing to sacrifice everything to bring Sharon to justice. Both women, each with their own reasons and motivations, are determined to stand their ground, neither giving in to the other. In this tense battle of wits, the story ends with an unexpected twist, as Sharon finally realizes that all her plans and schemes could lead to her own destruction. And Phyllis, with all her determination and courage, proves that sometimes, it is her determination and loyalty to the truth that is the most powerful weapon. Subscribe to Yonder to stay up to date with the latest news on our channel. Yonder spoilers reveal that Sharon has become a cold-blooded person, doing everything she can to harm Phyllis and destroy all evidence. She realizes that Phyllis Summers' threat is no longer a temporary problem but has become a persistent barrier that can destroy everything she has tried to preserve. Phyllis, with all her determination and unconditional love for her son Daniel, is not easily shaken and is determined to go all the way to prove Sharon's guilt. She has started to collect clues and fill in the gaps in the story to protect Daniel, whom Sharon has tried her best to trap and put behind bars. Meanwhile, Sharon feels pressured to deal with Phyllis once and for all. She cannot let Phyllis ruin her plans and expose her buried secrets. Sharon began to consider every possible option, from the most dangerous to the more sophisticated, complex ways to remove Phyllis from her life forever. However, each idea had a certain drawback. Poisoning Phyllis seemed the optimal option in Sharon's mind, but she knew that it was too obvious and suspicious. The idea had also come up when she wanted to use it on Daniel, but at the last minute, Sharon couldn't complete the plan due to fear of the consequences. Now, repeating the scenario with Phyllis could attract the attention of the police, leading to unnecessary trouble. At this time, Cameron appeared, in a version of the memory that Sharon still had. Although Cameron was gone, Sharon's mind retained the image of him as a dark mentor, always encouraging her to do things she never dared to think of. Cameron, ruthless and dangerously intelligent, appears in Sharon's mind, plotting a more elaborate scheme. In her imaginary conversations with Cameron, Sharon begins to dream up the perfect accident. Cameron suggests that she try to stage a fall down the stairs like she did years ago. The idea amuses Sharon, but after some thought, she realizes the risks are too high. Old memories and grudges between the two could become the subject of investigation, allowing Phyllis to dig up truths that Sharon has long kept hidden. After some deliberation, Sharon finally decides that an indirect approach is safer. If she can disable Phyllis' brakes, causing an accident that no one can link to her, that would be the perfect option. She began to imagine a scenario where the police would just assume it was an unfortunate accident, a fatal collision on the road due to mechanical failure. No one suspected her involvement. However, Sharon was still not completely assured. This method required patience and precise calculation, with no room for error. While Sharon was considering her plan, she was constantly worried about Phyllis's actions. Phyllis, driven by the fear of losing Daniel forever, would never give up on finding the truth. Each new step Phyllis took only added to Sharon's tension and determination. For Sharon, action was inevitable, and if she did not act quickly, she could lose everything. Phyllis was not just a worried mother, but also a true warrior, determined not to let her son suffer unjustly. Before Sharon was a fearless enemy, with an iron determination and a single goal, to make Sharon pay. This made Sharon even more determined to end the threat Phyllis posed, and she understood that only by eliminating Phyllis could she find true peace. Sharon Newman knew she had gone too far, but turning back was no longer an option. She had chosen a dangerous path, one that, if not handled carefully, would lead to her own downfall. For Phyllis Summers, things had gone beyond the limits of ordinary conflict. Phyllis was no longer simply an enemy, but a threat that haunted Sharon every day. For Sharon, eliminating Phyllis from her life was not only a necessity, but a matter of survival. Sharon had long been the focus of rumors, but now she faced a real battle. She had to face not only Phyllis, but also all the hauntings, guilt, and insecurities she had buried. Cameron Kirsten, the shadow of the man who once plunged Sharon's life into darkness, still seemed to lurk in her mind, becoming a vicious whisper in her mind every night. Dark memories of Cameron constantly haunted Sharon. She'd always saw him, heard his instructions, but Cameron was only a ghost in Sharon's imagination. She knew that Cameron did not really exist, but his voice in her head still sharpened her will, helping her form cruel schemes. In her mind, Sharon and Cameron were two extremes, a struggle between reason and dark urges.